Hello everybody, my name is David. Thank you very much for joining me today. This is part 2 of my question and answer video I do every single week. I'm answering questions from last week. Any questions you guys have today, please go down below into the comment section, ask me anything you want, and I'll answer them next week in the next video. So I'm trying to help people heal from trauma. Way to do that is to understand it and learn what happened to you. So if you think that I can help you by asking questions and answering them, please do. And if you could, please support me by subscribing to my channel and by voting up or down, sharing this video with other places. I'd really appreciate you. Thank you. So let's get started right off the bat with questions for part 2. And this is from Raven. And I thought I didn't have the first part of your question, so I do. Good. So Raven's from British Columbia, Canada. Hi, David. I remember my ex using references from spiritual authors like Eckhart Tolle to deny my concerns and gaslight me. He often spoke of the power of now and being present, as well as urging me to meditate. I felt like I had to ignore my feelings and not be judgmental in order to embrace this mindset. How can you resolve problems by constantly trying to be present and ignore all the manipulation and bullshit from the narcissist? Can you please speak more about this? Thank you. Yes, I can. Thank you, Raven. There's a few things I'd like to touch on here. This is quite common, as a lot of you guys know, and you could probably say so down below, and please do. Tell me your experiences, but this happens all the time. Narcissists are manipulators, right? And so they used all kinds of different tools and tactics and information to manipulate. One of them is this, telling you what you should do, how you should feel, how you should think, what you want, what you need, right? And the sad thing is victims of this stuff don't have a well enough defined self from our parents to navigate this stuff effectively, right? So what they're doing is they're telling you who you are. They're telling you, you should do this, you should do that. This is the way life is. This is what's important to you. No. Raven, first of all, we form our own opinion. I don't give a shit what someone else's opinion is. That's nice, great. Someone that's in my interpersonal life, I do value their opinion very much, okay? But when they start telling me what I should do, should feel, should, stops right there. We don't tell people what they should do or what they should feel. We form our own opinions, and everyone's got different opinions, and they're like, you know what? Opinions are like a-holes. Everybody's got one, and they all stink. Narcissists believe that their opinion is the most important of all. That's your ego. Ego is your self-importance, so they believe their opinion is extremely important, and how they do things are totally 100% correct, and you should do it too. They don't know themselves, so they believe they should live a certain way. They don't do it. They don't form their own opinion, so they don't allow you to, and they tell you should live a certain way. Enough said about that. I don't care about authors or anybody what they say you should do. They're merely suggestions. Hey, try this. It might be easier for you if you do this. But we don't tell people, okay? So anybody telling you what you should do and how you should feel, things like this, stop it there. Don't listen to it, okay? All right. A lot of them will use these sayings and authors and quotes and stuff like this to back up their manipulation, but it doesn't matter. We go by us. And so that's why the first things I have to start doing with clients is I start showing them. First couple things is I start showing them what they need. I start helping them with their emotional needs. I start helping them learn what they value the most, because they threw all these things out. All you guys threw this stuff out. And I love what you said here. I felt like I had to ignore my feelings and not be judgmental. No, that's called agreeable. You're just agreeing with him. You can say, I don't agree. I had someone recently tell me a story about a woman who wanted children, so she broke off this relationship because she only had a few years left to have children. So she broke off a current relationship because he wasn't ready yet. And she just went single and went and had her own baby, right? Had her own baby and had complications at birth. And isn't that a beautiful story? And I'm like, well, I don't think that's very beautiful. That's just my opinion. I think that we should have children with other people. And when we want to desperately go have children by ourselves, there's a void that's missing. Okay? So, just my opinion. Who cares? We all have different opinions about that story, right? But that person wouldn't have it, that I wouldn't have the same opinion. I didn't share the same exact opinion as she did. So, bang, 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 gone. It's okay. But it's opinionated. Who cares? You have to ignore your feelings. Your feelings are yourself. You have to ignore yourself. You also have to ignore what you want. You ain't getting that. And when you start saying it, you're complaining, you're over this, you're too needy, too clingy. Say, no, I just have wants. God forbid, can I get what I need? Nope, you're never going to get what you need. Screw that. You're never going to, and feeling it feels bad, but it doesn't ever feel better. So you have to ignore it. The only way to deal with that and keep them in your life is to cut your feelings off. You're cutting yourself off. You can't have a self in a relationship with a narcissist. You can only have a shell. Doesn't care about who you are, cares about what you are. Doesn't care about what you value, cares about what you give them. So I just thought that was, I like that you actually said that. So, and then the third thing, the whole here and now, be present. Depression's the past, anxiety's the future, right? That's why they say, let's try not to focus on depression and anxiety. That doesn't mean we never focus on the past and we never look forward to the future. No, that's insane. And I just hate this, what you call it? Manipulation and bullshit is what you call it. But yeah, no, be present here and now. We don't need people to tell us to do these things. If we have things in our past that bother us, we don't ignore it. Emotions, look, everything in your past, good or bad, that you can remember is emotionally charged. That's why you remember it. That's why you don't remember things that you don't care about, right? You don't care about what you ate for lunch last Tuesday. That's why you don't remember it. But you can describe to me in full detail an entire day of your life when you were 7 years old, 8 years old, whatever. A memory that's emotionally charged. The good ones, fine. We can recall them and feel them again, and that's great. The bad ones, we recall them and we feel them again too. Until we process and keep going and closing the emotions. Okay? Closing them. We need to heal our past. And that's not by ignoring it, numbing it, forgetting it. We already know this doesn't work. Here we are. We're all a product of this. All a product of trying to be present. We're all a product of trying to ignore the past. It doesn't work. This doesn't work. This is a bunch of BS, seriously, made up by victims who don't want to do the work, by therapists and professionals that don't know how to really help you and don't want to. I've seen it over and over and over again. The therapist that says, oh, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about this. Let's not talk about this that feels bad. Let's talk about some BS. Let's pipe dream all day. Let's ignore how you really feel because I don't like it as a professional. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't know how to help you. That's what they're really saying. I don't know how to help you. So, Raven, we've got to learn how to emotionally navigate through stuff, through relationships, okay? And you go by how you feel. And once you know who you are, people can't be so suggestive to you. People can suggest things all day long. You don't care. You don't care. It's like walking down the streets of New York and you got those people with the cups and the little ball, you know, and you think you can get them, but and you're trying to pay them and you're trying to win some money, but they keep getting you, right? People, you could still walk by all this all day long and not be affected by that anymore. And that's by knowing yourself and knowing that you value not this, you value this. You don't want that. You want this, what's ahead of you. And people can't distract you. Okay? I'm sorry this guy gaslit and manipulated you so badly. I hope that you start learning, okay? And start recovering and healing from this stuff. Thank you very much. All right, next question is from Ellen from the Netherlands. Hello, Ellen. I'm so sorry to hear that there was no help for you when you suffered from narcissistic abuse. I can relate to that, and I'm happy for the help and awareness available nowadays. Thank you very much. Thanks so much for all you do. You save lives. Thank you. My question to you is, if you have to mention the number one thing that is most important in our healing journey, what is that? I would appreciate to hear that from you. Thanks in advance. And you're welcome. Thank you. Here's the answer I gave you, so I'll just read it. Thank you for being sweet, Ellen. I appreciate you very much. Well, if I have to narrow it down to one thing, it would have to be a stable sense of who you are, because that covers everything. That may be cheating, LOL. I will tell you more Monday, and thank you again. So it's finding out who we really are. Like I was just saying, our parents didn't help us do this. So we aren't very clear, aware, conscious of the things that we need and what we want and how we feel, what's important to us. We've lost all this stuff, right? And we're just trying to fill our void. We're just trying to be agreeable and nice and do things for people to finally get what we need because our parents never taught us. So instead of me telling you what you need, find out what you need. Find out what you want. Find out what you like. Find out how you feel. Find out what your opinion is. Do it. That is the number one most important thing. It doesn't really matter about other people and the people that hurt you and their disorders and their dysfunctions and in your disorders, okay, or dysfunctions or problems. But we need to know. I can't achieve what I want if I don't know. I can't give myself what I need if I'm not aware of what that is. And I can't tell you enough how many of my clients don't know. We can't stay true to ourselves if we don't know the things we value. Okay? So, real simple. Stable sense of self. And thank you for asking, Ellen. All right. Next question. Oh, statement, I think, from Noemi. Here from Phoenix, Arizona. Hello. Celebrating my anniversary when I was discarded. The best thing that ever happened after 20 years. I am free like a bird. I'm my own person. Living at 56. Beautiful. Beautiful. Enjoy the rest of your life. I wanted to read this because it's all about attitude. It's all about attitude. Noemi could easily say, I can't believe I was discarded. I'll never find love again. And do you know that both statements are true? Both statements are true because you decide. You decide. You decide if, oh no, I was discarded and I'll never find love again. No, I'm unlovable. Or you decide if I'm celebrating the best thing that ever happened to me. Thank you very much for sharing that. Pammy, I'm going to look up emotional needs and emotional neglect, and I like your show. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I wanted to read this because that really is what we need to learn, guys. Okay? We need to learn what emotional needs are, and that's to you, what your emotional needs are, because it's the most important thing in the world. Imagine all of you guys have lived probably your whole life without the most important thing in the world to you. And you ask me, well, what is that, David? What are emotional needs? Our parents were supposed to teach us that. That's emotional neglect, which is something very hard to show you guys. You guys say, no, I haven't been neglected. Thank you for that. Plenty of time. And Takoba says, I adopted my terrier, Chloe. Having a pet helps you heal. Thank you for saying that. It sure does. I've made plenty of videos about this. Pets, animals, help you heal from trauma. Literally. Trauma reduces oxytocin, and pets raise oxytocin, the love hormone, the trust hormone. Okay? Pets will help you do this naturally. So will touching people, hugging people, kissing people, saying I love you to people, looking them in their eyes, looking at your pets in their eyes. Cats won't really do that much, but dogs will look you in the eyes. And this raises that hormone that we so desperately need, that we don't have any of after we've been trashed and discarded from abuse. Okay? Thank you for saying that. And I don't know how to say your name. That's why I don't say it. Paisley, Dreams from the Midwest. If we didn't get the care and attention we needed in childhood, is that the brokenness something counseling can fix? Thank you. Absolutely. We fix it with their guidance, right? Counselors, therapists, they can't really do anything for us. Might help us feel a little better, a little validation, but they guide us and show us what to do. Okay? So if we didn't get the care and attention we need in childhood, is that something a counseling can fix? It's the damages that are caused by neglect and abuse. That's what we fix. Okay? And it's about giving yourself attention, isn't it? Isn't it? It's about focusing on you and having other people help focus on you that we didn't get in childhood from our parents. Okay? Hope that makes sense, and thank you for asking. Okay, Sharon from Tasmania. Hello, Sharon. Sharon's been with us for a long time. I'm wondering if you have watched much Samvaknin and what your thoughts are on him. Yes, I have watched him, and I get this a lot. He's putting videos out left, right, and center, and I've spent many hours listening in on his lectures, etc. And definitely educational, but wow, those black eyes when the glass is off. I think the fact that a professor openly states he's a narcissist and doing videos on his heinous abuse has to help our cause. If it does, that's great, Sharon. I don't know how. I think of it as maybe you're thinking he is like your abuser, so the more you understand him, the more you understand your abuser because they're kind of similar. Okay, I just have to state that Samvaknin has a personality disorder, and beyond that, he's a horrible abuser. I've seen it. I've seen him abuse people, and he's disgusting. I don't care if he sees this or hears this. It's gross. He's an abuser. I don't want to support him. I'm not going to give him a view. I'm not going to like. I'm not going to subscribe. He's not going to get anything from me because he abuses people. He says that this helps him be a better abuser. Just know one thing. That's all my opinion, but know this. This is fact. People with personality disorders severely lack awareness. That's why they don't change. That's why they don't get the help they need. They severely lack awareness, a consciousness. For him to tell you what he's conscious and aware of is a very, very, very skewed self-perception. Okay? So we can't believe what he says. It can't be that accurate because he lacks awareness. Okay? We gravitate towards people like him when we're sick. We gravitate towards people that are mostly like us, right? That's why neighborhoods are divided, right? We all gravitate towards people like us, race, gender, religion, stuff like this, okay? When I was sick, my sickest, I watched his videos. Now, not at all. See what I mean here? If you're gravitating towards him and other narcissists, like you already have been, we need to heal. We need to get better. Okay? I understand that he might have some beneficial information, but that information is anywhere else you want to look. I doubt he has just solved all the problems in this just because he has a personality disorder. I mean, he wants to talk about abuse. You ever been abused? Or you're just the abuser? Then he wants to tell you all about abuse. I don't know. I don't recommend it. Okay? But thank you, Sharon, very much. Next question is from Tanita from Florida. Hello. Hi, Coach David. I hope you are well. Thank you. I am. Thanks. Here's my question. I experienced a lot of abuse in my childhood. What did I miss? I mean, if I was raised in a loving family, what would that have been like? Have you ever had to explain what the stars look like to someone who is blind? I'm sorry for this question, but I really do wonder. Thank you so much. Hugs from Florida. Beautiful question, and I'm glad that you admit that you don't know. And this is why it's so hard to show somebody emotional neglect. Not just that it happened, but emotional neglect means what you missed. What you missed. And think of our parents as teachers, and they're going to take all the time to teach us. They're going to give us all the attention and unconditionally love us. We need to be unconditionally loved at some point in our lives so we understand what 100% acceptance means. And the biggest part of the emotional neglect is we didn't get that unconditional love. So it's all conditional. If we do this, if we perform, if we get an A, if we do well, if we do our chores, then you get the attention, then we love you. Do you see that? That just screws our mind up for the rest of our lives. So what are you missing? You're missing the most important thing in the world. Relationships with other people and having our emotional needs met. Some of our emotional needs are emotional security. I guarantee you, most of you, if not all, have never experienced emotional security. You may think you have, but if you had relationships with people who threatened to leave you, who threatened suicide, who cheated on you, lied to you, hurt you, hit you, any of this stuff, you did not have emotional security. And if you did not have it now, you didn't have it growing up. That's the problem. You didn't. You didn't. And I know a lot of you say, well, I had everything I needed. If you're neglected, you don't even know. You don't even know what you need. So how do you know you had it? Imagine loving people in our lives that love us even when we've been abused, even if we make mistakes, no matter what, they won't leave us. They have our back, and they won't talk bad about us. Imagine these same people that respect us, respect our privacy, value our opinion, encourage our autonomy, that want intimate time with us, friends. I think all of you can kind of envision what that would be like, how nice that would be. Not having people gaslight us, not having people hurt us, not having people threaten us, not having people talk bad about us and making us look bad. Okay? So if our parents didn't teach us what we need, how we need to emotionally navigate, if our parents don't teach us how to meet our needs, if our parents did not meet our emotional needs, right? It is so extremely damaging. And I just put it up under one term: not enough love. That's the number one way to destroy a child. Not enough love. We can call it, abuse, and we can call it neglect, and we can call it envy, and we can call it selfishness, all these terms, but it's just not enough love. I'm not saying they didn't love you at all. I'm saying not enough. And that creates a huge void, and we aren't taught to love ourselves, so we don't know how to fill this void. So what are you missing? You're missing loving yourself so other people can love you. It's the most important thing in our lives. You can see people who don't get it and don't have it. Like during the beginning of this virus pandemic, all the people that ran to the store and stocked up on toilet paper and hand sanitizer did not get love enough growing up. And they think that's the most important thing to them. Because when you have the most important thing to you, your emotional needs met, you don't freak out on physical needs. Babies don't. Babies don't. Babies only care about emotional needs, and that's what they attach to. They attach to people who provide those things. And once they have their emotional needs met, they're pretty good. We don't have to freak out about food and water, shelter. We go get a job. That's it. Parents give it to us, grow up and go get a job and give it to ourselves. People that freak out about those things, it's because they're not emotionally stable or healthy. Okay? I hope that makes sense. I could go on and on and on about what you missed out on. Okay? What's available in the world if you do decide to be emotionally healthy. But it really does come down to not enough love and not having what we actually need and not having relationships with people. And thank you. I hope that makes sense. Please keep asking me more questions about that. I really like it. And that really is the gist of all this. What's the most important. I'm going to stop part 2 here and continue part 3 in a few minutes. Thank you very much. If you guys could support me by subscribing, voting, commenting down below, posting and sharing this video somewhere else. I'd appreciate it. Anybody that wants coaching, daviddemars.com. Love yourself first, and I'll see you in part 3 soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.